Thompson and St. Cyr side by side. Racing it out. Who has the faster car to finish this thing? St. Cyr is going to bring it home in first. What a race at the end of that thing. Caution, caution, caution. Come around the corner. Jamie Horne is going to be your winner here at the Mars Properties 200. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Group 6 Cup Series. Welcome to the North American Specialized 110, and welcome to Watkins Glen International. Normally we're bringing you 4 turns. Tonight we decided to overachieve a little bit and bring you 8. As always, my name is Hunter Foley, up in the booth with my broadcast partner, Jonathan Smith, and we are excited to bring you all of the Group 6 Cup Series action from Watkins Glen this evening. Before we get on to all of the action down on the track, I want to make sure that we pay the bills and thank all of our wonderful sponsors for making this whole thing possible. As always, for the entirety of this season, this is the Group 6 Cup Series. Special shout out to Group 6 for being our series sponsor this year, stepping up and making sure that things stay going up here in the booth and around the track. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence. Explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com. That is GROUP 6 inc.com, and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks once again to Group 6 for being the series sponsor this year. As mentioned before, this is also the North American Specialized 110, so special shout out to North American Specialized for being our race sponsor tonight. North American Specialized is your one-stop shop for all freight movement needs. They are an asset-based brokerage with locations in Warren, Michigan, and Laredo, Texas, ready to move your freight, big or small. From dry vans, sprinter vans, and even double drop Conestogas, you name it, they move it. Backed by experience, equipment, and excellence when it comes to freight, North American Specialized delivers. Be sure to visit their website at www.naslcorp.com and check them out today. Again, special shout out to North American Specialized for being our race sponsor tonight. The Doghouse Racing League is also very proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared, legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Thank you to Shoney's, longtime friend of the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series. We are also very proud over here at the Group 6 Cup Series and Doghouse Racing League to be sponsored by Butt Kicker. If you want to take your sim racing experience to the next level, be sure to head on over to their website at thebuttkicker.com and pick up the best in racing haptics today. Anything you pick up over there, you will not be sorry that you got it. Longtime friend and sponsor of the Group 6 Cup Series. Shout out to Butt Kicker. Thank you for being a sponsor. And for one final time, before we get over to all the action on the track, thank you to everyone who is joining with us tonight, spending some of your Thursday evening with us to watch these drivers go 8 turns around Watkins Glen. Be sure you leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't to support the channel. And as always, get loud in the comments for your favorite drivers. They love hearing it. We love reading it. One of our very favorite parts of being up here in the booth. Again, thank you to everyone who is joining here with us tonight. With all that said, as per usual, I'm going to go ahead and shut up, quit yapping. We are getting ready to get on down here to the action at Watkins Glen. I believe these drivers are just about to finish up their practice laps, and then we're going to get all over into the qualifying here. We are going to be doing 45 laps here once we get this thing going. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and quit yapping and turn it over to my partner, Jonathan Smith. John, let's talk 8 turns. Let's talk 2 4/10 of a mile. Let's talk the Glen.
Yeah, man, the Glen back here at a road course for the Doghouse Racing League Group 6 Cup Series. Last time we were at a road course, Jamie Horne taking it home kind of in dominating fashion too, leading most of that race. But the Glen is, it's a track. That's about what I can say about it. One of the more legendary tracks for road courses, at least on the NASCAR circuit, still has that hard 90-degree turn right after the start-finish line, and then you're going to climb an elevation, a little bit like an S-turn that elevates about 100 feet. As you go up, and as you come back around the track, coming back towards the finish line, you're going to drop another probably 100 to 150 feet, if I'm thinking about it right. I believe it's a little over 100 feet. You drop back down again. So,
you are correct, sir.
A lot of elevation changes here at this track. I mean, we talked about it before, especially at Sonoma, coming downhill and hitting the brakes. Can definitely get that car a little loose as these cars come around the track, and hitting the gas going uphill is also going to get it even more loose. So look out for those S turns, look out for that 90-degree turn, and cannot forget about the bus stop.
100%. Comparatively to the other road courses that we run, I know we already ran Sonoma this year. In your opinion specifically, how do you compare the Glen to Sonoma? What are kind of some of the different challenges that you're going to run across racing here as opposed to Sonoma?
I think this track is more manageable than Sonoma. I'm not sure if that's just how familiar I am with this track more than Sonoma. Used to race this track on all the NASCAR games back in the day, so definitely been here a time or two, but I don't think it's as challenging. You definitely have a lot more straightaway speed that you can get here than you can at Sonoma for the most part, but one of the more unique challenges I think is really going to be where Mark Dumont right here is coming around this corner here, trying to shift up, and then you have to get around this S-shaped turn as you're shifting up and hitting the throttle without getting too loose and making this hard right-hand turn here.
So you saw that right rear spinning as he was trying to get through that corner.
Yeah, and then trying to find this braking point coming through. And I guess this is not called the bus stop anymore. I mean, I'm not sure if it ever was, but I feel like that was what it was called at one point. But it's called the inner loop. Trying to get through there, ride those bumpers just the right amount, and then get it back around this turn. So definitely presents its own challenges here. But I think overall this is a more fun road course, maybe just my opinion, than Sonoma.
Yeah, you pick up a lot more speed here at Watkins Glen for sure. And I think that kind of lends itself more to maybe drivers that weren't as strong at Sonoma can maybe turn out a better performance here at Watkins Glen. And you just have so much variation that's going to happen like in and out of every single lap. I mean, like you said, Jamie Horne dominating performance at Sonoma. Brandon Trush also turning in a really strong performance. But all it takes is just misshifting, like you were just talking about. One time going around these corners, you go around, and even if you manage not to hit anything or end up in the infield, you're still losing 10 to 15 seconds to get that thing back going, and that can make or break your race. And contrary to what we see a lot of the Group 6 Cup Series drivers do very often, kind of sit back, wait to move forward, wait for your time, wait for the other cars to burn up. There's none of that here at the Glen. You have to get as much position as you can early on and stay there.
Yeah, track position definitely going to be a big deal tonight. We will not. This is one of the few races that we do have a stage, but we also have a caution. I think it's going to be thrown in the middle of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're still doing that with the caution, the stage break here.
As far as I know, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but do believe that in this series, that's the only time that we're going to be doing actual caution stages.
Yeah, so it's going to push the group back together, which is good because, I mean, some of these road courses, everybody can get very, very, very spread out. And you just have guys crossing the line 18 seconds ahead of somebody else. So it kind of helps add a little bit of a challenge. You know, you can't just get in a rhythm or anything. And cars that might have a little trouble early on can kind of figure it out and come back. But we are heading straight to qualifying here. First out on the track, I've got Zach Miller coming around, seeing what he can do.
And I believe it's only one try at qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. Saw a huge variation in the practice times out there, as per usual for most road courses. Jamie Horne turned in the best practice lap time, running a 109.76. And we varied all the way down to, I believe it was 114s out on the track during practice. But I believe most drivers were kind of hovering in and around that mid 111, early 112.
Yeah, right now we got a lot of people out on the track right now. Steven Bonomo, Zach Miller, Mark Dumont, Brandon Trush, newcomer Kevin Hash. Going to be in that 03 on the side of his car, but he is going to be listed as 112 on the left side of your screen. Ray Rittenauer, not a newcomer, but he is this year rookie in the league. I think he's got about 4 or 5 races under his belt with us. Decided to have him back tonight in that 133, making his out lap. Mike Leftwich been throwing down some very fast qualifying times this season.
Mike Leftwich has been really, really great in terms of qualifying. And then, you know, kind of on the opposite side of that coin, you got Josh Cully, who I could not tell you the last time I saw him put down a qualifying lap, but yet always seem to find him up near the front. So you really kind of get the tale of two races there when it comes to qualifying.
And who else we have out here? Our featured driver on the thumbnail tonight, Zach Michael. That Long John Silver's car.
Fantastic.
You ever ate at a Long John Silver's?
I have had Long John Silver's. Fun fact, the little small Virginia town that I grew up in, one of the first fast food restaurants after we had a McDonald's, was we got a Long John Silver's attached to a Taco Bell. Which, for a kid that just wanted some junk food every once in a while, was pretty great. But for parents that had to be concerned about the potential gastrointestinal consequences of Taco Bell and Long John Silver's, not great.
That sounds like a stomach ache and a half. But got some drivers crossing the line here. Jamie Horne going to be in your pole position. Justin McMahon about 6 to 7 tenths behind. Newcomer Kevin Hash out here about a 1.3 behind. He is boasting a 3100 I rating, 3.57 safety rating. The max you can get on that safety rating is a 5.0. So he's up there in numbers.
Really like that teal he's got on that car as well. I wonder if he's going to be the Group 6 Cup Series Doghouse Racing League's SVG. Just comes out here and just really knows his road courses. What is that sponsor, though?
Not sure if we can zoom in on that front sponsor on the hood there, but I cannot decide.
I wonder if that's one of those things like
Stripper Glitter.
Wonder if that's one of those things like the surfboard wax.
Yeah, I'll let you look that one up. You can get back to me on that.
I don't want that in my Google Chrome history. Are you kidding me? I'm signed into my Google at work, dude.
Well, we'll back it down to something a little more PG 12-ish with the Hooters car here, Steven Bonomo. That car design actually done by SSR Designs, our own Hunter Simpson. Give him a little shout out there. Nice looking car.
Got Sandra Horne in the comments, first comment of the night, saying, I would like to ask, is there a way to make the sound or volume louder on the cars when racing? Thanks for reviewing, and you guys are doing a great job regardless, with a smiley face and a thumbs up. First of all, of course, we can make the sound louder, Sandra. And thank you for asking so nicely.
I'm glad you answered. I get into a habit I don't know. It's just like a joke for me that when somebody asks me something, I just always say no as soon as they're asking. Like, absolutely not. No, I can't do that. But no, joking. I can 100% do that. I actually was listening to it too, and it's like, this is very quiet.
You think I'm gonna get on here in all of my broadcasting pride and smart mouth Jamie Horne's mother?
Absolutely not. It's just something I do, and I know it's a problem, especially in the career field that I'm in. When somebody asks me to do something, absolutely not. No, I can't do that for you. I'm sorry.
Can't do it. Not gonna happen. Too hard.
But always willing to go over the moon for people. So yes, absolutely, I can. I'm trying to wait till qualifying is wrapped up here.
Look like we currently have 11 cars who have put down a qualifying time so far. Jamie Horne and Justin McMahon still going to be 1 and 2. Ray Rittenauer is only 4/100ths off of Justin McMahon in third right now. Chris Leftwich has fourth place currently. Brandon Trush, who ran a really, really great Sonoma race. Really the only car that had anything for Jamie Horne in that race. And even in saying that, that was still him finishing, I believe, about 9 seconds behind. But
yeah, and I forgot there is some changes here tonight for the qualifying. This is single car. This just is the same as we've always done with single car, but there's 10 minutes of qualifying. You get to run 4 laps for qualifying. And I believe it's going to be your best one out of those 4. So you definitely have a few shots to do it. Looks like Jamie Horne is pretty content with his time. He's back in the pits. Chris Leftwich making his way on his 2nd lap here. Brandon Trush just crossing the stripe for his 4th lap. Trush is going to be sitting in 5th place, and that is a guy to watch out for at a road course.
yeah, like we were just talking about, I mean, really the only guy that had anything for Jamie Horne. I mean, Jamie finished about 8 seconds ahead of Brandon, and Brandon finished a good 6 or 7 seconds ahead of the 3rd place guy. Also, that silver bullet paint scheme. Chef's kiss.
You like that one? That is a little pat on the back KDR design there.
I was putting it on the tee for you.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'll say my tee shots usually aren't the best, so be careful with that. Looks like Eric Warman's got a new scheme too. That car is nice. Keeping the original green and blue, but adding a little bit more to it. I like the blacked out number.
Got a little more flavor on it. I believe he's got new Premier Setups logo on the side there too.
Yeah, with the halftone and the numbers. Man, we are just a sucker for paint schemes here at Nat Daddy Racing.
Well, when that's some of how you make a living.
I don't know if it's a living. That's how I make a sleeping, I guess, if that's part of my day. It might not even pay for that much, but
that's how we go to Charlotte.
Yeah, that's the fun money.
Yeah, exactly. But
Eric Warman looks really good here too right now. The way he's running the line that he's got. This is his first lap.
I think it was Warman and Chris Simon, if I'm not mistaken, that were 3rd and 4th at Sonoma. And again, it got super, super spread out at Sonoma really, really quick. But those 4 guys, Jamie Horne, Eric Warman, Chris Simon, and Brandon Trush, were the ones that were able to kind of really put a lot of time on the rest of the field. But one of the things that we're going to be looking out for as well, once we get this thing going, green flag starts waving. A lot of the hectic, a lot of the kind of jumping around in a big pack happens at road courses, either right after a caution or right when the green flag waves, and that can be getting through that first lap safe is kind of a major key to knowing whether or not you're going to have a good evening or not.
Yeah, another guy I would like to watch out for tonight, Steven Bonomo. Last race at Sonoma. Kind of got into a little bit of trouble there at the end, but he looked very fast for quite a while there throughout that race. And I think he kind of went off course just a little bit. I think in turn 4, I think they call it 4A maybe. I'm not sure, but lost some spots, but I'm looking for him to have a big bounce back night tonight as we go to our warm-up session. As we're doing that, I'm going to pull up the current point standings for everybody here to see at home. And as you can see here, Jamie Horne coming into this thing as your current leader in points. Right behind him, Andrew St. Cyr. Those guys have been battling at it all season long. My mic kind of messed up there just a little bit, but Kevin Thompson, third place. Eric Warman sitting in fourth. Justin McMahon in fifth. Gary Clune, sixth. Adam Thompson, seventh. Chris Simon, eighth. Zach Michael, ninth. And Josh Cully, 10th place.
Yeah, Josh Cully's been running. I mean, he always runs very well, but sometimes when he's kind of working his way up from the back of the pack after not qualifying, you can kind of get caught up in some trouble. But really, really strong finishes out of him the past couple of weeks. And I don't know how he feels about road courses, but I know he's definitely looking for a big finish tonight, especially as playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah, playoffs are coming up soon. Trying to move some things around here so I can give you the accurate data for this, but count them up. We have this race, then we go to Richmond, Daytona, and then playoffs start soon. We were taking 20 drivers to the playoffs. There are going to be some drop races for drivers that had to miss, so you might see some drivers move up in points with those drop races.
100%. And playoff race is just the best, man. It kind of takes to a next level, and I know these guys are always competitive out there, always trying to race their way to the front, but that just takes to a next level. Everything matters. Every point matters. Every lap led, every position gained, and it's the best. So really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to see how this race comes out tonight as well. And you were correct earlier. We are throwing a caution on lap 22. That will be kind of our midpoint of the race, and that will kind of cinch the field back up if we do start to have quite a bit of separation. And then in terms of cautions tonight, it is a little funny because it is at a road course, so it's really easy to kind of self-spin. We do try to generally play by the rule in the Group 6 Cup Series Doghouse Racing League of 2 or more cars are involved, and that's a caution. But really going to try to stick to that pretty strict tonight, just because otherwise, if you throw a caution for every single car spin, we're liable to be here till about midnight.
Trying to adjust the volume just a little bit here. I know this is a little unprofessional to have all this stuff on the screen, but kind of the only way I can do it without going to a very long commercial break. So we're going to follow Zachary Miller here around, adjust the volume for each one of these cameras.
That's one of the things that they don't talk about is in terms of things you have to set up for a broadcast. Every single one of the cameras has different volume. So if you think it might be quiet when you're kind of looking up from the blip view, and then it could go to one of the trackside cameras and could blow the speakers out of your TV or phone or however you are joining in here with us tonight.
Yeah, just like it almost did to me right there. I had my finger on the button there and kind of messed it up.
So while you're trying to get the cameras set up and the volume fixed, how many cautions do you think we see tonight?
One.
I think it's Sonoma. I would say Sonoma. And are you counting the mandatory one at lap 22? Do you think we'll have one additional, or do you think that's the only one?
If I had to put it over/under, I'm going under 1.5.
Under 1.5.
Yep.
Additional, or
including the mandatory caution.
wow.
I'm saying they're doing caution free.
All right, well, I'll take the plus on that. So if you want to play along at home, one or more, essentially, will there be an additional caution at all to the mandatory caution thrown on lap 22? And then I guess while we're just sitting up here jabbering about who's going to do what, do you think anyone has anything to take first place away from Jamie Horne tonight?
Yeah, I really like. There's a few guys that I like. I mean, obviously, I think Jamie Horne's coming here. Vegas odds, the favorite tonight. I'm trying to see.
Oh, if I was going to try to handicap this thing, I mean, I have Jamie Horne at a plus. Or not a plus, excuse me, a minus. That's a minus 350 minimum.
But we don't have either Thompson, Kevin, or Adam in here, from what I can see here tonight. I liked Kevin Thompson here. I like Stephen Bonomo was fast here last time. Zach Miller was fast last time here. Not here, but Sonoma, it's a road course. Chris Simon made some waves there at the end. Brandon Trush, always good at road courses. Justin McMahon with a super fast time. Ray Rittenauer pulling up there with a fast time too. But these guys are about to grid up. Got Daniel Wilkerson, the admin of Doghouse Racing League, in the comments here saying one only. I agree. I don't think there's going to be any caution except for the Mando caution. But while this is going on, gridding up, why don't you tell us where the guys are starting at tonight?
I can handle that for you, buddy. Starting the pole position tonight, and trying to go wall to wall just like he did at Sonoma. Mr. Jamie Horne in the number 98 car starting in first tonight. Justin McMahon is going to be starting second. Raymond Rittenauer is going to be starting in third place. Chris Leftwich for the Shoney's Racing Team going to be starting in fourth. Brandon Trush, our second place finisher at Sonoma, going to be starting in fifth. Newcomer to the league, Mr. Kevin Hash, starting in sixth. Zach Michael going to be starting in seventh. Stephen Bonomo starting in eighth. Eric Warman in ninth. Zachary Miller in 10th. Mark Dumont's going to be starting 11th. Gary Clune comes in with the 12th place qualifying time. Mike Leftwich starting 13th. After that, we're going to the drivers who did not put down a qualifying time, and we are basing this off of their practice time. So after that is going to go Josh Cully 14, Chris Simon 15, Richard Leclerc is going to be starting, excuse me, not Richard Leclerc. It's going to be Bill Gentry 16, Gary Armijo 17, and then Richard Leclerc. It actually looks like Richard is not out on the track currently. So we're going to be starting this race with 18 people in the lobby, 17 people on the track currently, and we are getting ready to go green.
Yeah, just a quick update on the weather here. Could play a little bit of effect, but an 81-degree track temp is very nice for a track like this. Coming here tonight, I believe that's track temperature there. That might be ambient temperature, but no, I'm confused on that.
Track's 109.
Track is 109, ambient temperature of 81 degrees. I'm sorry, I got those numbers backwards. Not a lot of wind, just a little bit. Humidity looks great, partly cloudy. Might have some shade come over to cool that track down just a little bit as the run goes on, but we're going 2.42 miles here tonight for 110 miles total. Give us a total of 45
quick math right there.
laps.
Some good quick math there. Proud of you. Yeah, I wish.
I have a cheat sheet.
I mean, you didn't have to cop to it, but I'm proud of your honesty. I am very jealous of this weather. It has been gross in the Carolinas. But what is not gross is this race getting underway. Pace car is off. We are going to the green flag. Jamie Horne takes the green flag. We are underway here at Watkins Glen for the North American Specialized 110. Jamie Horne pulls out to a commanding lead. Justin McMahon almost going off track there. He's going to lose a couple spots there. He's going to pull in behind Brandon Trush. Looks like everybody actually got off the line really, really well. Didn't see any sort of trouble there. At least getting this thing started.
That's Ray Rittenauer cutting through the grass right there, getting back on track. Brandon Trush is going to take that spot away to move up into second place.
Right back to where he was at Sonoma, chasing down Jamie Horne already in second place. Got Kathy Trush in the comments saying, Team Trush and KBT Racing, good luck to number 23. I know he's hoping for a good finish tonight, trying to take that #1 spot at a road course away from Jamie Horne.
Looks like
Brandon Trush and Jamie
Horne
Horne.
a little bit too. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Just McMahon on the outside trying to take this position with this 90-degree turn here.
They almost go 3 wide there. Zach Michael and Ray Rittenauer get really close. And you're starting to see that road course separation already start to happen. I mean, it's already 10 seconds between your first place driver and the last place driver currently. So we have 16 drivers out on the track. We had 18 in the lobby. It looks like Gary Armijo and Richard Leclerc decided not to take the track.
Justin McMahon's around the middle of the track, but Nomo's going to run right to the side of him.
I think you got to throw it for that.
I'm trying to get back here because I think he just hit Bill Gentry as well, trying to get that thing turned around.
Yep.
No caution. These guys are going to be able to clear it up before that is going to be needed. But Nomo looks like he's going to tow to the pits. I think Just McMahon is already towed to the pits as well. That's unfortunate for both of them. And Bill Gentry couldn't do anything about it.
What was it that started that? Oh, McMahon just hit the grass a little bit too hard, and you could tell he was slamming on the brakes, but he just couldn't get it stopped while it was still off the track. I mean, he got pelted.
Yeah, there's McMahon, hits that bump there in the bus stop, makes the back end fly up, and he's just going to get spun around there. Trying to hold on to it. A lot of drivers avoid him. There's Zach Michael going low. Eric Warman. Oh, Dumont just barely missing, and then there comes Steve Bonomo. Probably not able to see him out of that right A pillar as he's coming around that corner. Bonomo trying to get turned around. Gets into Bill Gentry there.
And Justin McMahon has actually gone ahead and called it a night. He towed back and probably saw a number he did not want to see. Steve Bonomo is on pit road. Looks like he's trying to get it repaired. Bill Gentry actually still out on the track. Not sure if he's trying to get to pit road or if he's just out there running it, but
It looks like Chris Simon is smoking a little bit there. Might have been an accidental downshift somewhere. Maybe a
you
crash.
hate to see that.
See if we can jump back here to Chris Simon. Catch some of the action we missed.
Oh, Chris Simon's off the track.
Oh, right head first into the wall. Yep.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's off the track right now. He just spun through the grass a little bit, and he's puffing smoke as he's going down the track.
Zach Michael also around as well. Looks like Mark Dumont also jumping through the pits. We're going to check back in with the leader here, Jamie Horne. Got himself a 4.2 second lead built out over top of Brandon Trush. Cutting back here to Brandon Trush. He himself has about a 2-second lead, 2.5 over Ray Rittenauer, sitting in 3rd place right now. With Chris Leftwich right on his tail in that 83 machine.
Eric Warman now moved his way up to 5th. Kevin Hash started in 6th, still running in 6th. Zachary Miller been able to work his way up a couple of spots, starting in 10th and up to 7th. Josh Cully, even at a road course, starting in 14th, made his way up to 8th. Definitely going to be a tough track to get a lot of work done on, but Josh Cully definitely the man to make that happen. We currently have, I believe it's going to be 11 cars out on the track. Zach Michael bringing it down pit road. Mark Dumont already on pit road. Chris Simon also on pit road. Seeing some smoke come from that hood that is not looking good. Steven Bonomo and Justin McMahon have called it an evening.
Jumping back here to Zach Michael and the crash that he had that sent him to pit road a little earlier than expected. cuts in. It looks like it just got loose there and got that thing spun around. And then trying to get back on track and just gets hit by, looks like Dumont there.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do on a road course, is you're kind of spinning those wheels really quick to try to get it back on, unfortunately, to catch both himself and Dumont up in that. And that's probably, if it's not a race ender, it's pretty close.
And you sit here, if you watch a little bit of these Indy cars, F1 racing or anything like that, you're saying, well, how can those cars get around this track so easily? And we'll hop into the cockpit here with Jamie Horne to look at his steering wheel and what he's doing with it. Those F1 cars have a lot more downforce, a lot more drag, going to keep the tires on the ground. A little bit easier for those cars to stay on the ground and also provide a lot more grip as they come around these corners. So they can take these corners faster, sharper, almost like an RC car, turning that wheel as hard as they turn it.
I was going to say, like, one of the things that is kind of a common misconception is that it's a lot more difficult to drive a F1 car on these road courses, and I'm in no way discounting the skill or the difficulty of driving F1, but there is a lot more, kind of, to almost use your analogy of an RC car, there's a lot about an F1 car that makes it an RC car. You have all the little buttons, all crazy technology that goes into making those things that make it so you can be able to get around the other cars a little bit easier, kind of the push to pass kind of thing. And there's just a lot that goes into it that makes it more like an RC car. And with these cars, it's a lot more manual input in terms of getting in the gas, getting out of the gas, making sure you shift at the correct times. And to be honest, it doesn't seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of road courses myself, and I've never actually driven a next-gen car or an F1 car before, so I couldn't tell you what it's like in real life, but I know at least for iRacing, I think the F1 cars are a lot easier to get around tracks like this compared to these cars, especially the Xfinity cars. That when those cars come to tracks like this, that are very right rear dominant cars, very loose off of corners, I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't want to do it for 45 laps. But props to the guys that are really good at it. I mean, it's just tough to try to keep the wheels underneath the car.
It is a skill that I myself do not possess. K-Doggy in the chat said, "What's up, all? Good to have you in here as always, sir." We are on lap 8 of 45 here at the North America Specialized 110. Again, thank you to everyone who is joining with us and spending some of your Thursday evening watching these guys go 8 turns around Watkins Glen. Got 14 people out there. Thank each and every one of you for being here with us. And one more time, special shout out to our series sponsor, Group 6, and to our race sponsor, North American Specialized. Both brought in by drivers in the league, so that's even better. Comment here from B-Mac. Oh my goodness, did you miss me? How could we not? I almost didn't know what to do up here in the booth, not having a B-Mac comment to read as my very first thing. I'm a man of routines. I didn't know where my B-Mac comment was.
And we are missing about 3 of those BMP guys tonight. Nick Atwood, Andrew St. Ford, Kevin Thompson, all out tonight.
I believe it's just Mr. Gary Clune out on the track represent for BMP, correct?
It is, and he is running P9 right now. Waiting for that first course caution that's going to come around lap 23.
Still a lot of racing he left to do here. A lot of action left in this thing too. You start to see some of the separation that happens at these road courses, and you're like, oh, it's just, guys just going around corners. But again, going back to one of the points we made at the very start of the race, every single input takes so much work, and you have to be on your P's and Q's all night long if you're going to make it to the end of this 45 lap race. And any one little mistake, and that can be really the end of your race. And that includes guys that are running in the front: Jamie Horne, Brandon Trush, Raymond Rittenauer. So these guys that are a little bit further back in the pack, you look at like Zach Miller, up 3 spots, and he's still 17 seconds behind. Josh Cully, up 6 spots, 19 seconds behind. There's still plenty of time left for them to be able to get out there and do something.
Yeah, and especially with this caution coming out too. And I remember at Sonoma, we saw Jamie Horne jump out to a really large lead in that first half of the race before the first caution. And then after that, it seemed like Brandon Trush kind of figured some things out, made some adjustments, and was able to stick a little bit closer to him. Almost cut the distance down by half. Maybe something like that will happen tonight. I know the lead's not as big between Jamie Horne and Brandon Trush here tonight, so definitely something to look out for as we continue this race.
I was going to say, and not to take anything away from Jamie Horne, he went wall to wall in that race, dominating performance on every metric possible. But that's a really good point that you brought up. I think when we threw that competition caution at Sonoma, I think Jamie Horne had I believe it was a 14, 15 second lead. And I think he ended up finishing about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of Brandon Trush, and he'd only hit 7 or 8 seconds about 2 laps before the end of that race. Most of that second half of the run was about 4 to 5 seconds.
He's going to bring it around here on this 12th lap, so he crosses the line again, barring any crazy things that I don't want to talk up. He'll be taking stage 1 of this race at the end of this lap.
We do have some lap traffic out on the track. Bill Gentry is out there. Jamie Horne already got around him about 4 turns ago. You can see Brandon Trush going around there currently as well.
Yeah, man, you got to be on it like the whole race. We talked to the guys afterwards last race, talking about how they were tired and a lot of fatigue setting in after all those laps at Sonoma. I can imagine hopping in here in the cockpit here, not as many turns and other things that you would have at Sonoma that are sharp, but a lot of input, being on the game 100% the entire race, try not to miss your mark. It'll wear you out.
Oh, 100%. Down on pit road, we still have Zach Michael in there getting some repairs done. So we got Chris Leftwich down on pit road as well. Was running in the top 10 here. Started 4th and fallen back to 8th, but is down on pit road looking like he might be getting some repairs made. Saw the car go up a second ago, getting some tires, but oh, looks like Chris has actually called it a night. Not sure what happened with that number 83 machine that ended up bringing him down, but looking like he's decided to call it an evening.
Yeah, I saw some damage to the front of that car, but I'm not sure when it happened. I don't have any notifications here. This may have been it. Let's see if we can jump back while we got some time. Yeah, it takes a little too wide. Right into that wall there. And I guess that is another kind of challenge here for Watkins Glen compared to Sonoma. There's a lot more inside walls at this track compared to Sonoma. Sonoma, you
100%.
Yeah, you have the outside walls at Sonoma for sure. And I'm trying to remember. I know there's inside walls, especially on the front stretch coming back to the line. But past that, if you go off track, you might not hit anything. But you can see these walls are right here on the track. As they come around
I was gonna say we saw a lot of spins at Sonoma that really had no damage other than damage to your position potentially, and so far the off-track incidents that we've had here at Watkins Glen have all resulted in pretty serious damage. Zach Michael able to make his way back out onto the track. He's going to be 8 laps down currently, running in 12th position, but still able to get out there and get some points. Bill Gentry out there running in 10th place. He is currently a lap down. In terms of the rest of the back of the pack here, Chris Leftwich is called it a night, currently in 11th. That's going to continue to go down. Mark Dumont has called it an evening. Chris Simon is still on pit road. So he's starting a little campfire over there. Steve Bonomo, Justin Mann, Richard Leclerc, and Gary Armijo have all called it a night, giving us 9 cars out on the track on the lead lap currently.
Yeah, that last lap that Jamie Horne just ran, 1 point. Oh, that's not his lap. That's his best lap. Sorry. 1 minute and 10 seconds, and you can see that Mike Leftwich is about 56 seconds behind the leader, so getting close here to having 8 on the track. Mike trying to hold on to it until that yellow flag comes out. That's going to be on lap 23.
Something to note here is that Jamie Horne is still running far and away the best laps out on the track. Last time by, he ran a 1:11.6. Brandon Trush ran a 1:12, almost a 1:12 flat last time by. Ray Rittenauer ran a 1:13.1. Really good lap for Eric Warman last time by, 1:12.4. But same thing for Kevin Hash and Zach Miller, who have both closed the distance.
Yeah, Warman and Hash are sitting here battling right now, too. Warman's had a position for a few laps. Pretty much most of the laps, but it looks like Hash is looking to the inside here and to try to outbreak him as they come up this bus stop. I don't think he's going to have it here. Just waiting for his move and his opportunity to get around. And you know, that might increase Kevin Hash's lap time too. Sometimes when you're behind a guy like this, get slowed down a little bit. And that's not to say that Eric Warman is slow. That's just saying that Kevin Hash might have another line that he would prefer to run if he could get some clean air out there.
Oh, 100%. It is just so tough to pass here. It's not just like at your typical 4-turn racetracks. I mean, you got to time your braking exactly right. You got to get back into the gas quicker than the other guys so you can actually get your nose down and get around him. And then you also got to try to do to earn the John Deere Award while you're trying to do all of those things.
This right now is our closest battle that we do have going on. I don't see anybody else that's any closer here.
Next closest would be Zach Miller, who's trying to pull into Kevin Hash there. He's still he's over in a second. He's about a 1.7 seconds, it looks like, behind. And then Ray Rittenauer is sitting 14 seconds behind the leader, Jamie Horne, and Brandon Trush sitting at 8.3. Kind of to your point again. I mean, there obviously is, you can only make so many comparisons between Sonoma and Watkins Glen here, but that lead for Jamie Horne is not as significant as it was over Brandon Trush at Sonoma.
Yeah, we're going to have a caution coming up here soon that's going to scrunch everybody back up together.
I think that's going to get really, really interesting, especially coming out from such spread out racing as we've had. I mean, this group got spread out really, really quickly. And putting them all back in a group, everyone trying to jockey for position where they can. Because that's really your best chance to make a couple of passes really quick, especially if you know you have a faster car, is to try to get a really, really good restart and jump 2 or 3 positions and try to run down who you can.
Yeah, if you're Bill Gentry right now, you are Mike Leftwich's biggest fan. Need him to stay out in front of Jamie Horne for the last few laps here so that Bill Gentry will be the lucky dog when the flag does drop.
Unfortunately for Bill Gentry, unfortunately for Mike Leftwich, Mike lost about 3 seconds that lap by. Mike Leftwich currently sitting at 1 minute and 6 seconds behind the leader. Jamie Horne ran a 1:11.8 last time by. Got 7777 Capo in the comments. Howdy. Howdy to you as well, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Is that Capo or Capo?
Really put me in a pretzel here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. That battle between Warman and Hash. Little going on here. Eric Warman doing a fantastic job holding off hard charging Kevin Hash. Kevin W. Hash, first time with us tonight. First time I've seen the name this season, at least.
I believe he just joined the league, I think like a day ago. Jumping right in at one of the toughest tracks for a lot of guys. Started in 6th, running in 5th, very consistent. Love to see it.
Ooh, there's a little boost there coming out of that 90-ish degree corner, coming back on the start finish line. Still trying to get around Eric Horne here.
Zachary Miller's been closing in the distance a little bit as well. He's gained a couple of tenths on him the past couple laps. Trying to fight his way into the top 10, or top 5, excuse me.
Yeah, some things you gotta kind of think about. A little low-key, not going to make a huge difference, but it could for 1 or 2 positions. Is that if we finish this first stint just the way it is and line them back up, double file, Hash is going to be 1 row back behind Eric Warman. If you were to able to clear him here, he would move up a row, which might give him a better shot at getting a written hour.
Yeah, 100%. Just everything that goes on at road courses kind of becomes a puzzle. Speaking of puzzles, an unfortunate one here for Bill Gentry as Mike Leftwich has officially gotten passed by Jamie Horne. Mike Leftwich now going a lap down as well, giving us 8 cars on the lead lap and putting Mike Leftwich in the position when the caution is thrown to get his lap back and be back on the lead lap.
We just saw Zach Miller move off the track a little bit there. He's going to lose some positions.
Did he lose positions or did he just lose some time? I can see that he lost a lot of time.
I'm sorry, time. He was losing a chance for that position before this break comes up.
We are on lap 21 here. We'll have that competition caution. Say that 3 times fast. Coming up here at the conclusion of lap 22. And again, barring any sort of other unfortunate action, we are going to have 8 cars on the lead lap finishing this first stage of the race. And then Mike Leftwich is in the position to get his lap back once that caution flies. I think that restart is going to be really, really interesting because I think you've got guys like Jamie Horne and Brandon Trush who have just been, I mean, realistically at this point, they're Sunday strolling. They are in good position. They both have clean air. Brandon Trush has kept that lead of Jamie Horne to under 10 seconds for the entirety of this run. So now they're going to be kind of clustered back in with the rest of the pack. They're going to have to try to rebuild that lead. And then you've got guys who you can tell are definitely very, very fast. I mean, Kevin Hash was beating down the door of Eric Warman there for the last 10 laps pretty much. Zach Miller looked fast before almost slipping up on the track there just a little bit. Josh Cully, currently biggest mover, up 7 spots. I mean, you got to think those guys are going to try to take this opportunity to maybe steal a couple of positions. But with that being said, Jamie Horne crosses the stripe. Once everyone gets around here, that is going to bring about the end of the first stage of this race. The caution will fly. Everyone will have a chance to bring it down pit road, get some new tires, pick up some gas, get a sandwich, you know, whatever you got to do.
To see here where everybody's at on the track. See when this caution flag is going to come out.
Oh, big wobble there out of Jamie Horne.
Yeah, you saw Brandon Trush's time increase dramatically there from that too.
And there goes the yellow flag.
I'll say it might have also been from Jamie Horne just slowing it down, knowing that it's about to come out.
Jamie Horne going to be your leader wall to wall for the first stage of this race. Caution flies, ends up flying on lap right at the conclusion of lap 23. So we are on lap 24 right now. So we are going to bring it down pit road, and we'll probably be getting this thing back underway somewhere around lap 27.
Jamie Horne trying to get around to catch that pace car. I don't think pit road will be open until they do catch the pace cars.
Just got a message from, or just saw Chris Simon put in the race chat over here saying good race. Unfortunate short end to Chris Simon's race. Currently sitting in 14th position. 20 laps down, still sitting on pit road. Not sure that they're going to be able to get that thing back out on the track tonight, but should still be a 14th place finish for Chris Simon. Actually might end up moving up a couple spots because he does still have drivers Chris Leftwich and Mark Dumont, who are out of the race. They'll continue to go laps down, so might end up being able to move a couple spots if you can get it back out on the track.
Not a lot of drivers left in this one, but ones that are left are definitely going to fight to the very end, trying to grab every point they can. Playoff time is coming.
100%. There's no time to waste. You got to get it back out there if you can, even if it was an unfortunate start to your race here. Got to get out there and get whatever positions you can to try to set yourself up to make sure you stay comfortably inside the top 20 as we come into playoff season here. I believe all these drivers are getting ready to be able to bring it down pit road. While you have a chance again, 10 people out there in the stream, thank you so much to everyone for joining us. Thank you again to Group 6 for being our series sponsor. And thank you again to North American Specialized for being our race sponsor. And there you can see all of our lead lap cars bringing it down pit road here. So as someone that is pretty unfamiliar with what sort of strategies you can and can't employ at a road course like this, do you think we see any pit road strategy here? Is there somebody that's going to like try to take 2 tires and get back out front?
No, I don't think so, man. I think this is the time you just take them all and run what you brung at this point. I mean, there are some strategies out there about some adjustments you can make, the big adjustments you can make on these next-gen cars during the race. Just able to adjust tire pressure. You can adjust what they call offset, which kind of makes the front of the car and the back of the car higher or lower. Can loosen up the car, tighten up the car. Then guys might do that, maybe 1 or 2 clicks. But at the same time, I'm not too versed on road course adjustments, mainly because you have that right-hand turn involved, and that kind of throws me for a loop. But
Throws you for a loop at a course that basically has a loop. That's good racing puns right there. Well done.
And it's also a little tough, too, to make tire pressure adjustments here. If you're trying to go off of just temp and how much that tire expands, you can get your baseline tire PSI, your pressure in your tire at the beginning of the race. So we'll just say they have, I'm not even sure what they're running here, let's just say they have a 17, but as that tire heats up, it is going to expand a little bit, which changes the dynamic of the car. You kind of want your tires to either expand equally or expand equally on the right sides at least. So you might see some guys just move it a click or 2 to make sure that right tire is heating up the same pace as the right rear, or vice versa, the right side is equal to the left. But past that, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference at this track. But I could also just be completely wrong on that.
You can see Mike Leftwich there at the front of the pack. He is waiting for his call to go around the pace car, catch back up with the back of the pack, as he is going to be our lucky dog here. As far as everyone coming out of the pits, Jamie Horne comes off in first. Brandon Trush comes off in second. Looking like Eric Warman is going to be third. Kevin Hash going to be fourth. Zach Miller in fifth. Josh Cully in sixth. Ray Rittenauer going to be restarting in seventh, alongside Gary Clune in eighth. And Mike Leftwich getting caught back up to the back of the pack. He's going to be restarting ninth, and that is going to be our last car on the lead lap. Bill Gentry's going to be restarting in 10th, 1 lap down. Zach Michael in 11th, 8 laps down. And after that is just going to be the drivers who have called it a night, which again include Chris Leftwich, Mark Dumont, Chris Simon, Stephen Bonomo, Justin McMahon, Richard Leclerc, and Gary Armijo.
You saw Zach Michael also get the wave around there too. I think he came out of pits when that caution came out. So he went right behind the pace car there and able to get the wave around. Get at least 1 lap back. Brandon Trush making some squiggles out there on the track. Get those tires heated up, ready to roll.
I think if you're Brandon Trush here, biggest thing you want to do is just try to match Jamie Horne's energy on that restart. Jamie Horne got such a big jump on that initial start of the race when the green flag first waved. I think waved.
Waved.
Sure, we'll go with that one. And I mean, you just kind of puts you on the back foot, and when you're, especially early in the race, when you're trying to still figure out the turns, figure out what your car can and can't do, fighting off your back foot and trying to catch up to someone who's already got a 4-second lead is not really where you want to be in terms of, let's call it mental safety.
Yeah, I think a big storyline here is Eric Warman, Kevin Hash starting in row 2 side by side as the green flag is about to come out here. Green flag back to racing here at Watkins, Glen, upstate New York.
Very important for these guys to get a big run here as we get this thing restarted. Eric Warman and Brandon Trush already fighting for second and third. Jamie Horne taking off again. Jamie Horne just with such good restart speed in this thing.
You see Ray
Trying to go
Rittenauer
wall to wall again. Oh, that was close. Oh, no. Josh Cully and Kevin Hash both off the track. I don't think Josh Cully took too much damage there. Kevin Hash definitely popped the wall.
Yeah, during that time, looks like Brandon Trush able to clear Eric Warman to get around. Kevin Hash
Just
with
these
a really
guys
good run tonight.
volleying from position. Ray Rittenauer almost clipping that inside wall as they're trying to make it around the turn. Josh Cully had a full head of steam and was trying to cut that same corner and just not quite able to get it done. And that is going to cost both of them position and time, and Kevin Hash probably going to have to bring it down pit road to get some repairs.
Oh yeah, looks like those guys just barely got into each other.
Looking like Josh Cully able to avoid any damage there, but probably a couple minutes of damage to repair there for newcomer Kevin Hash. Unfortunate to see for him. Was really, really running a great race. Was giving a very fast Eric Warman all he wanted on the last 15 laps of that green flag run in the first stage of this race. But cutting back to our leaders, Jamie Horne already out to a 1.8 second lead over Brandon Trush in second place. Eric Warman currently running 2.4 seconds behind Ray Rittenauer, right at 3 seconds. You have to go back to about 4.1 seconds for your fifth place driver, Zachary Miller. Gary Clune up to sixth, running about 7 seconds behind. And then Mike Leftwich about another 5 seconds behind him in seventh, another 5 seconds. Josh Cully in eighth. And unfortunately for Kevin Hash, he's got some time on pit road for those repairs. Probably going to be kind of tough to come back from that at this point.
Just got a notification about Josh Cully going off the track.
Check in on that really quick.
Yeah, got that back end lifted. Able to hit the brakes and not touch the wall. That's good on Josh Cully.
Yeah, really good to save the car there, but we've seen that happen a couple of times now where you just get up a little bit too high on those red and yellow barriers trying to cut those corners. If it throws that back end up at all, you're off to the races. And by the races, I mean the race to see who's the first to get their choice of turkey or ham at the infield.
Yeah. Race to the hauler. I kind of talked about this at our last road course too, but I mean, I never realized how those bumpers there, the red and yellows, how thick they were, like high. I mean, they're about half an inch for each little groove in that. And I cannot imagine running over those things. I mean, we were watching kids riding bicycles over them. They were heads going up and down, bike bouncing everywhere, and we were driving the car pretty fast here. Jimmy Horne hitting 90 miles per hour, 100 around that corner there. Yeah, those little
that part's
thick.
That part's crazy to think about. Like, you see these guys are flying over those at, you know, sometimes 130, 140 miles an hour. And then, like you said, when we were at the infield at Charlotte looking at the Roval course, I mean, kids are using that as a bike ramp.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, it's the same thing that you would do when you were a kid when you were trying to ride a bike up over the sidewalk and you're trying to, like, pop the front wheel up and you're like, oh, look, I'm doing a wheelie. Like, that's what it looks like for like these kids that are out there on bikes, and I can't imagine hitting that at 130 miles an hour and not, frankly, not having to go change my shorts.
I feel like all of my insides will be vibrating up and down as you over those little bumps. Like an old wooden roller coaster or something.
I mean, again, if you ever think that racing is easy, or that the drivers don't have, like, they're just kind of out there cruising around, if you ever have the chance, get behind the wheel of a race car on a track, road course or otherwise. Me and John had the opportunity to do that a couple years back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and frankly, I was someone who had grown up around NASCAR. My dad worked for a company that was one of the major sponsors in NASCAR at the time, and so I got to go to races when I was a kid, and really, really excited about it. Kind of lost the love and passion for it over the years. And we were going out there, I was like, this is gonna be cake. And speaking of insides vibrating, that's what mine were doing at about 155 miles an hour around turn 3 at Charlotte, trying to figure out which direction my spleen was going.
Yeah, the thing that really stood out to me there was the G-forces. You don't get that in iRacing. I've heard people that have went from iRacing to real cars that say everything is very comparable. The biggest thing is you don't feel the G-forces pushing against your body. And I mean, we were only going 150 at Charlotte there, but it felt like every force in the world was pushing your body to the right inside that car, and you're trying to turn the car to the left. I had my spotter kind of scream at me, "You gotta turn left like sharp or get lower." I came back and said, "I'm trying. I can't." It's like throwing me against the wall over here. Can't imagine. I was exhausted after like 5 laps of trying to hold that car down the inside, and these guys out here just doing it nonchalant, 180, 190 for all, especially the Coke 600. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then you take into account that these cars don't have air conditioning. They've got little hoses or fans inside there that can pump some fresh air inside there, but I mean, you're on tracks. NASCAR happens during the summer. I mean, you're out here on tracks where it's 85, 90, 95 degrees outside, not counting humidity. The track is radiating heat up at you. And I mean, knowing all that, it's hard to blame Mark Martin for the system he had to rig up in that thing.
It always makes me think about these drivers that are a little more thick around the waist. Because, I mean, like, if I was that tired after 5 laps, I can't imagine guys like Jimmy Spencer, Tony Stewart's big guys kind of look a little... I mean, like, they enjoy a good cake in the infield after the race, but
yeah,
you got to be more fit than what you would think.
Oh, 100%. I was going to make a joke before you threw that one in there. I was like, who would have thought that Mark Martin and Derek Lewis, the UFC fighter, would have so many things in common?
They both like Gucci Mane.
And they both would prefer to have more air conditioning around the crotch region.
That interview with Martin talking about what songs he listens to.
Oh, it's one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen in my life. They're like, they're asking Mark Martin, who, if you haven't seen a picture of him recently, if you think about your grandfather, but like 5'5", that's what Mark Martin looks like. He just looks like a sweet mid-50s, early 60s man. And they're like, Mark, what kind of music do you like to listen to? I like to listen to Gucci Mane. All right, Mark. Man of culture.
Get back out here to the Watkins Glen road course with 10 to go. Jamie Horne still holding that first place. The numbers to the right of your screen on the track map are the positions of each car. So you can see the distance between first place and ninth place on the track.
Mike Leftwich going to be our last car on the lead lap. He's currently running in 8th place. He is 38 seconds off of the lead. He's about 4 seconds behind Josh Cully. Really had a fast car here tonight. Thought he was going to be kind of one of the ones to watch, especially after that restart, to be able to fight his way well inside the top 5. Unfortunately, had that incident. I actually see him kind of lock up tires right there, a little further off the track than he wanted to. Unfortunately, going to find himself back in 7th. We are again going to have a battle for 3rd place. We saw this at Sonoma. I believe that time it was between Steve Bonomo and Eric Mormon. This time it's Raymond Rittenauer and Eric Mormon battling for 3rd and 4th. Jamie Horne still has a comfortable lead. Brandon Trush about 4.5 seconds back. Again, kind of the same thing that we were talking about earlier, though. Seems like Brandon Trush does start to kind of figure things out a little bit more on the 2nd stage. And by this point in the green flag run, Jamie Horne was in the 1st stage about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of where he is now.
Josh Cully just got around Mike Leftwich there. Actually, that was 2 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I missed that one completely. Just popping out notifications here. Zach Michael passing Kevin Hash. That was not going to be for position, though. Kevin Hash still in the pits, but Zach Michael moving up a spot, getting a few more points. Still running out here in the Long John Silver's car. Brought a fast car right here tonight. Got into a little bit of trouble. It seemed like trouble was kind of hard to avoid. Unless you're up here in the front, Jamie Horne, Brandon Trush, Eric Warman, Ray Rittenauer, and Zach Miller round out your top 5 here. Brandon Trush doing a good job keeping this lead a little bit closer. Pull up a sector map for you between our 1st, 2nd, and 6th place driver.
Oh, Ray Rittenauer gets it to the inside. Takes that turn really spicy, but actually gets the job done. Ray Rittenauer is going to move his way into the top 3.
Let's go back to that path really quick.
Really good job by Ray Rittenauer there to set that thing up, get to the inside of Eric Warman, and then have the wherewithal to maintain through this turn. This is where we've seen a couple people tonight completely lose it. Yeah, I would have to venture to guess that he took that with a little more salsa on it than he wanted to. But a really good job of maintaining control.
Yeah, the big bounce back night for Ray Rittenauer. He's had a little bit bad circumstances in the past few runs, but more of a newcomer. I think this is maybe 4 or 5 races now with us. I don't know if he is going to have enough time to get into the playoffs since he's had this late start to the season. Also, Brandon Trush earlier, who is down in 29th position. Got a ways to go to catch up, but a lot of these drivers are not here tonight above him, so he has a chance within the next 3 races to get to the playoffs.
That is one of the benefits for a lot of these drivers, and again, just more motivation to keep the car on the track and keep it moving forward. There's a lot of drivers who are regular high finishers who are not joining with us tonight for one reason or another. For example, most of Team BMP, who's been having an incredible second half of the season, most of them aren't here joining us with us tonight, but Gary Clune's still showing out. Like he's going to pull home well within the top 5, obviously assuming that we don't have any other incidences here tonight.
Top 10 at least.
Yeah, very comfortable top 10.
He's got about, it's like a good 20 seconds behind 5th place Zach Miller there, which I'm not surprised about. Zach Miller, man, was fast last time out in Sonoma road course, and that's the only comparison he can draw, because that is the other right-hand road course we go to. But he's been consistent all year, been fast, been showing out. That's a guy with a lot of good short-term speed, and really, I was thinking about it earlier last night. There's two schools of thought about the short-term speed, and if you're in that camp or if you're in the long-term speed kind of camp. And the flames on his car are fitting because that man is short. He's fast in the short runs.
Again, there is that kind of thing where, especially in racing, where it is better to be lucky than good sometimes. And you can have drivers that are good all season long, great strategies, know exactly what they want to do going into a race, and they can end up losing position, losing races to guys who got lucky. And there's nothing wrong with that. You still got to put yourself in a position to be lucky. But especially with these guys that have just really incredible short-term speed, very often they're putting themselves in that position.
And there is good benefit to short-term speed, especially if you have races that might be having a few cautions here and there. Doghouse, fortunately for me, because I love a good green flag wall-to-wall race, no cautions at all. Doghouse usually does not have a lot of cautions, but you have a race that has quite a few cautions. You think there might be one near the end, cars bunched up. That short-term speed, man, pays off tremendously.
Oh, 100%. There's nothing worse to see towards the end of a race in the last 5 laps or so when you've been running a long-term race, saving tires, this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, someone's got brand new fresh tires, been running short-term speed all night, and that's the guy you got to go up against.
Got Kevin Hash back here on the track. We do have 4 to go. Jamie Horne, still your race leader, out to a 6.8-second lead here. Trying to hold it together through that the inner circle. Sounds like a cold.
The inner circle.
But I thought it was called the bus stop for the longest time, and I might still keep calling it the bus stop because it looks like a bus stop. I'm pretty sure it was called the bus stop. But Wikipedia
Also,
says
while we were away, Eric Warman actually ended up making a pass. And now he is back in the top 3, able to get around Raymond Rittenauer.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Ray Rittenauer went off track just a little bit to give that opportunity to Eric Warman to get around. As he slides it through there, a little spicy as you would call it.
Yeah, it looks like Ray might be having a little bit of trouble right now. So he's probably dealing with a really, really loose car. Also on that initial pass, what a slide job by Eric Warman. Good night.
This is going to be where that pass took place at. Eric's getting a good push, pulls right in front of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, really good job there to just get to the outside, get the good straight line speed in that How's Your Mother right in front.
Yeah, good work on the spotter there to tell him when he was clear immediately. I think his spotter might actually said he's not clear, and Eric said, I'm taking it anyways.
Fun fact about myself and John and the KDR Corporation, when we're not up here in the broadcast booth, when we're not up here in the broadcast booth or up there designing cars for the guys out there on the track, John actually also races, and I'm the spotter in the equation. And there's been many a time where I've been like, not clear, and John's just like, oh, we're gonna be clear now.
Didn't hear you, my bad.
Radio breaking up these frequencies, man. The microwaves, the radiation. Oh, Eric Warman! Eric Warman all the way around in the wall, gets into Raymond Rittenauer.
He's going to fall back a few spots from that, too.
Raymond Rittenauer took a pop there, but I think he's going to be able to maintain and stay in that position.
We're going to cut back really quick to get back to Jamie Horne here on this last lap because he's trying to bring it home. Oh, it just snapped loose on him. Yeah, it looks like Ray probably cleared most of it. May have got a little net code between his car and Eric Warman, but that is unfortunate for Eric Warman and great for Ray Rittenauer. who is needing a
Eric's
good
such a-
finish.
Cutting back to the front, checkered flag is in the air.
White flag.
Or white flag. Oops.
He's colorblind, y'all.
I got it. That is going to give us a shuffle here on things as we are trying to bring it down to the end of this race. Jamie Horne still running first, has an 8-second lead on Brandon Trush. Raymond Rittenauer, 17 seconds off the pace. Zach Miller running really, really fast right now, trying to run him down. Eric Warman also able to get it back up to speed. Looks like he's going to be able to maintain a top 5.
Yeah, you see Brandon Trush back there in the camera. Coming around that corner, just how much separation between Jamie Horne and Trush. It looks like Jamie Horne's going to bring it around this last time to the checkered flag.
Checkered flag is in the air by dominating fashion. Once again, Mr. Jamie Horne is going to be your race winner here at the North American Specialized 110. And he is going to immediately go over to the side there, right on the logos, and burn it down. Well-deserved, well-earned, wall-to-wall victory for Mr. Jamie Horne. Looks like the boys are all posing there. You'll love to see it. Every single lap of this race led. The win goes to Mr. Jamie Horne. Oh, hey, Josh Cully.
See if we can get to the checkered flag. Get these guys crossing here. It's gonna be your second place finisher, Brandon Trush. And then bringing it home in third place, Ray Rittenauer.
Yeah, just well done by all of these guys to power through a really, really tough Watkins Glen course. A lot of action kind of flying around tonight as well. Lots of cautions, or not a lot of cautions, but a lot more accidents that we saw at Sonoma. So props to these guys for powering through. And again, just dominating performance by Jamie Horne tonight. Current standing road course king for the Group 6 Cup Series and for the Doghouse Racing League. BMAC in the comments giving a congratulations to Jamie Horne. Kathy Trush, congratulations to the number 98 and great run number 23. All class out of the family members in attendance. With that being said, we're going to try.
Got our top 3, Jamie Horne, Brandon Trush, Ray Rittenauer. You saw those guys cross the line. Zach Miller bring it home in 4th. Eric Warman 5th. Josh Cully going to be in 6th place. Gary Clune, the lone BMP guy out here tonight, 7th place. Mike Leftwich in 8th. Bill Gentry in 9th. Zach Michael 10th. Kevin Hash bringing it back out there on the track at the very end to get a few more points on the board. He's going to be 11th. Chris Leftwich 12th. Mark Dumont 13th. Chris Simon 14th. Stephen Bonomo 15th, Justin McMahon 16th, Gary Armijo 17th, and Richard McClurk 18th. I think Morvay starting apart from those last 2 guys. I don't recall if Armijo made it out to the track or not. I think he did.
Armijo put down a practice lap, decided nope, not for me tonight, and I don't believe the 117 of Richard McClurk ever actually ended up taking the track.
Guys to get up here in the booth. We've got 2 of them now. I'll give us a little bit more time, but why don't you tell us about our sponsors all the way?
I can go ahead and do that really quick. once again for the final time tonight. Shout out to all of our sponsors for making this thing possible. Again, this is the Group 6 Cup Series of the Doghouse Racing League, live here on Doghouse Racing TV every single Thursday night. Group 6 is a leading creative agency, and they are passionate about crafting cutting-edge websites, developing dynamic web solutions, and providing top-tier managed hosting services. Their mission is to help businesses of all sizes enhance their online presence, explore their wide range of services at group6inc.com, and see how they can drive your digital success. Special thanks once again to Group 6 for being our series sponsor this year. Once again, also, this is the North American Specialized 110. So a special thank you to North American Specialized for being our race sponsor tonight. North American Specialized is a one-stop shop for all freight movement needs. They're an asset-based brokerage with locations in Warren, Michigan, and Laredo, Texas, ready to move your freight, big or small. From dry vans to sprinter vans and even double-drop Conestogas, you name it, they move it. Backed by experience, equipment, and excellence when it comes to freight, North American Specialized delivers. Visit www.naslcorp.com and learn more today. Once again, thank you to North American Specialized for being our race sponsor tonight. We are also very proud at the Doghouse Racing League and the Group 6 Cup Series to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Little sidebar here to Shoney's. If you want to open one in Greensboro, I will be your biggest customer, I promise. And finally, special shout out and thank you to Butt Kicker for being a longtime friend and sponsor of the Group 6 Cup Series and the Doghouse Racing League. If you want to take your sim racing experience to the next level, be sure to check out their website at thebuttkicker.com and pick yourself up something today. Butt Kicker, known as the very best in racing haptics. If you pick up something from them today, you will not be sorry. Thank you again to Butt Kicker for being a sponsor. Time for a shameless self-plug, or are we going to go ahead and do some interviews and then we'll shameless self-plug?
Let's get some interviews in here. I also just realized I got a message from Jamie Horne before this started saying my mic volume was too low, and I did not realize it the whole time, so hopefully this is a lot better, but I'm going to pull up our third place finisher here tonight in Ray Rittenhauer. Ray, you got a copy of this in the booth? You got a copy of this, Ray?
Yeah, sir.
Well, man, great race tonight. Looks like you and Eric Warman were kind of battling back and forth. Had a good qualifying time, good practice coming out here as well. Tell us about that run and how this track handled tonight.
It was definitely a little more slick than I expected. Turn one was real treacherous. It was loose a lot there, but yeah, that race in the second half with me and Eric was crazy. But I kind of burnt my stuff up there at the end, and he got by me, and sucks that he spun out there. I tried to miss him, but it just caught the front end of me.
Yeah, we were trying to see if you actually made contact. It looked like you did, but it also looked like some space between the cars and maybe some netco. But during that pit stop on lap 23, did you make any adjustments to get back out there?
Yeah, it auto fueled, so it only put like 7 gallons in, and I wanted a full tank, so it would drive like it did in the beginning of the race, be a little bit looser, because I think with a half a tank it would have been tight.
Absolutely. Well, this is a very good points night for you. I've got here on our books that you've only been in 4 races. This is the 5th one now, sitting in about the 30s in the points, but able to move up a lot tonight. Tell us about some strategy going forward, as we have 2 races left until playoffs to get you into that top 20.
Gonna try to make it, but I don't think that I can get enough points to get in. But I'm new here, so I'm just kind of trying to stay clean and out of everybody's way, and just have a little bit of fun.
Yes, sir. We've enjoyed having you, and congrats on third place tonight. Before I let you go, any shout outs or sponsors you would like to give?
I thank my sponsor, Lucky Dogs, Josh Colley, Kevin Hash, teammates, and you guys for doing what you guys do for the league and the broadcast.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. Congrats on the run tonight, and hopefully we get you back up here in the booth next week at Richmond.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
It's going to be Ray Rittenauer finishing third place tonight at the Glen. Come up next, I do have your second place finisher in Brandon Trush. So I try to pull him up to the booth here. Brandon, you got a copy with us in the booth?
Yep, I got you guys.
Hey, man, congrats on finishing second place tonight. We saw you at the last road course. Kind of a similar strategy. Was there some things that you worked on before coming to this road course, or things that you wanted to do a little bit different from the last one?
Yeah, I wanted to beat Jamie, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. But Jamie, we were practicing yesterday and he was laying down some good lap times, and I looked at our times and we were similar on race pace. And tonight he just, we were just discussing it. That whole first section, he would just pull on me, and then I'd start catching him through the bus stop and the carousel, but I just couldn't make up enough time to catch him. So I was more worried about the guys behind me. Uh, every time for 10 laps, they would be right there. So I was just trying to get the car through and not wreck it.
Yeah, you mentioned catching there at the bus stop. We would see times where your gap would close up a lot and somewhere it would kind of fall back. What was the most difficult part of this track for you tonight?
One, two, and three. It was coming into one. I tried to gain some time and I overshot it a couple times, which obviously hurts way more than it does good for you. And then Jamie he had that what is that, two and three over the tunnel. He just had that nailed every lap. I would just watch him pull that gap, and I would just never gain enough on him to catch him.
Yeah, that's a hard three corners there, going downhill, then all the way back uphill again. I think we looked at before the race. It's about 100 feet of elevation change between those turns, so that's a tough one. But we are heading to Richmond, back to ovals next week. How do you feel about Richmond?
I don't mind Richmond too much. I'm just trying to stay out of the way of these guys right now. I know they're fighting for something, and I'm not. So how hard I push anymore will be yet to be seen.
Yeah, well, I got you at 29th, and I was just trying to do some mental math in my head, how many points that you need, but this is definitely a good help to move up. A lot of guys that were in front of you between 20th and your position did not race tonight, so definitely going to help your case here. Let me see, 700 to about, so you got about 200 points. Definitely going to be tough, but might be manageable. A lot of these guys did not show up tonight. A lot of them did not have some laps put down, so they're going to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. I really don't want to try to get too much in the mix. I really don't want to ruin anybody's race that's been racing all year. What is this, my sixth race with these guys?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to let them go do their thing, see where I end up. If I'm up front, I'm going to fight. If I'm in the mid pack, we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
Uh, yeah, to North American Specialized, we're happy to do this. Throw some race sponsorships out there. We'll try to get some more next year, maybe some later in the year. I always forget and I feel bad every time afterwards, but you guys up in the booth, every time watching these races after, it's always a good watch. And I know my mom enjoys it out there. She told me today she was rooting for Jamie Horne, so she picked the right guy this time around. Uh, as as always, again, Nap Daddy for making these awesome paint schemes for the car. They always look awesome. Might not be the fastest, but I think I look the best out there. And Clem Speed Shop always, of course.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you saying that. It looks like your mom picked the right driver tonight. You gotta bet with your head, not your heart.
Yeah, if I had to put my money down, it would be Jamie Horne every time.
Absolutely. That's why I've lost so much money on Braves baseball this year, but that's another story. But congrats on second place tonight, and looking forward to seeing you at Richmond.
Yep, thank you guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Yep.
That's gonna be Brandon Trush finishing second place tonight. Mom's picking the right bet. going with your race winner tonight in Jamie Horne. As I try to pull him up to the booth here. Jamie, you got a copy of this in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, man. Dominant finish. Looks like you're kind of king of the road courses here for Doghouse Racing League. Tell us about the prep time that went into this. I know you had a session up last night. How that translated over to today.
Well, the track was actually pretty different from where it was last night to tonight, and so it kind of threw me off to begin with. I was really tight in our practice, and then right before a race, track changed again, and it got pretty free, which is what I wanted with my setup. So ended up working good at the end. I've been practicing this with Steven and everybody on the team for probably the last 2 weeks. This is my least favorite road course, and wasn't really looking forward to it tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the practice definitely paid off. It showed here tonight. I talked to Brandon a second ago. He was talking about the bus stop being a little bit better for him and that he would lose you out of 1, 2, and 3. Tell us about those turns and how you manage that elevation change, breaking downhill and throttle uphill.
Yeah, so I told him last night in practice, kind of the way I look at a road course is it might not make sense, but slower is faster is the way I approach it. So I don't go all out for the most part during the actual race run, and I was telling Brandon that I was getting him at, I think, I guess 1, 2, and 3. I don't know turn numbers real good here, but I was shifting to fourth going at the start of the S's or whatever you call it, and he was staying in third, and I'd found over the last couple of weeks that if I shifted to fourth there, I could get through that corner better, and by the time he'd be coming off, I'm already in fourth and up to speed, so I was putting a good bit of time on him there, and the bus stop area and the carousel, I was going really conservatively through there because in practice that's where I'd lose it every time, and I don't know if y'all seen. One time I tried to push it because I was watching the relative too much, and I about lost it. So I was like, no, we're gonna go back to taking it easy, and I'll just make it up in other places.
Absolutely had a rocket ship out there, able to pull away in both the first stint and the second stint of this race and taking both stages. About 2 races left till playoffs after tonight, but going to Richmond next week. Tell us about the strategy coming into Richmond, how you think you'll do there.
Richmond's one of my probably top 5 favorite tracks, so I hope to have a good night. Do some practice, and I feel like we'll bring a pretty fast car, and I'm actually going there this weekend to watch it in person, so maybe I'll learn something while I'm there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully Andrew and them will be back next week, and have some good points battles. I know we're, what would you say, about 2 races away from the playoffs, so I'm trying to just think we're all just trying to stack up as many points as we can right now.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on winning tonight here, increasing your lead in the points. Anybody you would like to thank or any sponsors you want to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, thank you and Hunter for everything y'all do with the broadcast. Do a great job. Uh, Group 6 for sponsoring the series. Nap Daddy Racing. Shoney's Butt Kicker SSR Designs. Brandon Trush. I know he sponsored the race. I'm not 100% sure what the sponsor name is. It NOS Logistics?
Yeah, North American
Oh,
Specialized.
yeah. So thanks to them for sponsoring the race. Daniel and all the admins, everything they do with the league and keep it going. Um, Thanks to all my teammates for all the effort they put in every week, trying to see where we can improve and bring fast cars each week. And Ryko for the setups. And shout out to my mom at home watching.
Absolutely. She gave us a good little tip there before we started about the race volume. And I didn't
Yeah.
realize till I saw your message about 5 minutes ago that my volume was too low. So I appreciate y'all for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It might have got back normal at the end of it. I don't know. That was just before the race started. I always kind of listen in and see how bad y'all say I'm doing for the night. Uh, I was just listening in. I heard it a little low, so I figured I'd try to let you know. But no worries. It's always good either way.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it. And congratulations on picking up the win here tonight.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
That is going to be Jamie Horne taking home first place here tonight. What are your thoughts on Watkins Glen here?
Man, fun race. Like, the road courses are always kind of a winding road, a journey, if you will. I'm gonna see myself out with that pun, but I mean, just again, dominating performance by Jamie Horne, wall to wall. I mean, can't take anything away from him in that respect. Just completely dominating performance, and I'm honestly shocked that in that that interview that he didn't say, "Oh, I'm not that good at road courses," or "I don't really like road courses that much," but yet continues to win them by 8+ seconds every single time. I really wish I could be not good at something and still dominate at it. That would be fun. But again, just great job by Jamie Horne. Brandon Trush again, great job working his way up a couple spots. The second spot again, Ray Rittenhauer, really good job. Started in third, finished in third, but had to fight his way through to get there. And just really fun race to watch. Lots of exciting action that kind of took place all over the track. We talked about earlier, Watkins Glen has walls a lot closer to the actual track itself. So, I mean, you saw a lot of guys spinning out and taking damage. So, really good night for points, really good night for the league, and just really fun to watch. Excited to see some short track racing at Richmond next week.
Absolutely. And speaking of points, we do have a points update from the league. Let's see if I can just pull that up here. As we're going through, you can kind of see some of the changes that went through tonight after this race. Mainly looking here at Brandon Trush, who came in this race 29th, still sitting in 29th tonight, behind the leader, 731, only 3 points behind the next. It looks like there may be about 100 points, a little more than 100 between him and the 20th place driver. So he definitely has a shot, especially after tonight brought that in a full 100 points to being in that 20th spot, making the playoffs with 2 races to go. So he definitely has a shot. Ray Rittenauer moving up 2 spots tonight, almost in a pretty similar situation, maybe about 60 points less than where Brandon Trush is at. But if guys don't show up or somebody has a bad race, there's a few names I'm seeing here we haven't seen in a little bit now, but I believe Ray Rittenauer and Brandon Trush both have about 5 races under their belt now and moving up pretty quickly here in the points. Jamie Horne is going to continue to be your points leader. St. Core behind him in second place. Kevin Thompson in third. Eric Foreman fourth. Justin McMahon fifth. And Gary Clune sixth. No changes outside of the top 6 there. Chris Simon moving up a spot above Adam Thompson in 8th place now. Josh Culley moving up a spot to 9th. And Zach Miller finding his way into the top 10 with teammate Zach Michael dropping 2 spots after tonight. So things are definitely heating up here as we're coming to the end of this regular season racing. I believe we have 2 races left before the playoff starts in Richmond and Daytona. Richmond's going to be kind of a skill track, going to be hard to get around. Daytona, man, anybody can win it. You got to have a little bit of skill. I'm not going to lie, I have a little bit of skill, but
A lot of bit of luck.
Yeah, sometimes it just seems like which way the wind's blowing, who's going to be the faster car. But with that said, that is going to be just about it for us tonight. We appreciate everybody hanging out here with us on your Thursday night. Captain Trush in the comments, no, I said Horne is my backup driver. She said that before the race. After the race, I think Horne is the first driver. I'm sorry, Brandon. Nah, I'm just joking. Love the support that we have here in the comments, though. Always makes this a lot better, a lot more fun to be up here broadcasting with that, too. Having some feedback
100%.
and everything. But yeah, excited to go to Richmond next week. It's going to be a lot shorter of a track, a lot more action-packed racing. Probably going to see a few more cautions than this week, but it's going to be a good old time. Just want to give a quick little shout out to our sponsors again in Group 6 Cup Series. Thank you to Group 6 for being the primary sponsor for the series this year. Also want to give a big shout out to North American Specialized. That's a NAS Logistics. I was reading it here on the screen, but shout out to North American Specialized, sponsor this race, sponsor, I believe, 2 more races after this as well. Also want to give a thanks to Shoney's. Shoney's been a long time sponsor of the league. Big shout out to Bud Kicker for putting on a sponsorship this year. And then also some of the other sponsors that don't directly, maybe not directly sponsor the Cup Series, but also help out the Doghouse Racing League in Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Also SSR Designs and Auto Pros, who is the main sponsor for our truck series on Sunday nights. Trackside helping out with the Tuesday night series. But if you want to catch more racing action next week on Tuesday night, the ARCA series is heading to North Wilkesboro. I had to look that up for a second.
Well, that's going to be fun. That's the one you do not want to miss.
And it's also the Throwback 100, so expect a lot of throwback paints in those ARCA cars. It's going to be a whole lot of fun there next week. That's going to be on Intensity Broadcasting, starting at 7:45 next Tuesday night. That's Eastern time, 7:45. And then if you want to see more Cup action, this is Battles Heating Up. We'll be back next Thursday night here at Richmond Motor Speedway, or Richmond Raceway, I believe. Yeah, Richmond Raceway. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Yep. And that is going to be the North American Specialized 150 right here on Doghouse Racing TV, starting at 7:45 Eastern time, where you get to hang out with us and see these drivers go back around a left-hand circuit, which, how can you hate that?
You can't. I dare you to try.
But other than that, man, that is going to be just about it for us tonight. We appreciate everybody hanging out, and can't wait to see you next week. So for the last time, I have been John.
And I've been Hunter.
And we will see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.